Today I'm reviewing the WiiM Amp Ultra with Voice Remote 2, a 100-watt streaming amplifier with a premium ESS ES9039Q2M DAC and dual TI TPA3255 power stages. If you want to check current pricing or availability, it's linked below. I've had this amplifier on my desk and in a small listening setup for weeks, driving bookshelf speakers and streaming through Tidal and local files. This review reflects real use in music listening and daily background audio. Let's set expectations early. This isn't a massive integrated amplifier meant to drive very large, inefficient floor standers at ear-splitting volumes. If you're after rock concert loudness in a big room without a subwoofer, that's not the typical use case here. It's designed to act as a streamlined bridge between streaming sources and passive speakers, with thoughtful digital processing. In everyday listening, the ESS ES9039Q2M DAC makes a practical difference. Streaming lossless tracks, vinyl ripped FLAC, or high-res audio over Wi-Fi sounds open and controlled. The transition from quiet passages to louder ones feels smooth, instruments retain texture without harshness. It doesn't suddenly open the doors on hidden detail, but the overall sound quality feels clean rather than veiled. Power delivery from the dual TI TPA3255 amps is reassuring. At moderate volumes, the Amp Ultra stays composed, driving typical bookshelf speakers. I didn't hear strain when listening across genres. Jazz, soft rock, classical, and even orchestral crescendos stayed controlled. In my room, it felt like a sensible match for speakers in the roughly 88 to 92 decibels sensitivity range. Heavy demands from very inefficient speakers will stretch it, but that's expected for its design. RoomFit EQ is one of the features that genuinely came into play. Running the built-in calibration helps tame room resonances without needing outboard measurement gear. Treble and bass balance tightened up across listening positions, and that made a visual difference on spectrogram apps I use before and after tuning. It's not a magic fix for very awkward rooms, but it meaningfully improves coherence compared with flat response out of the box. The voice remote simplifies control in casual listening situations. I found it useful when changing playlists or adjusting volume without reaching for a phone or tablet. It doesn't replace a dedicated streamer UI entirely, but for everyday operation it feels intuitive. Connectivity options are plentiful. Wi-Fi streaming, Bluetooth, AirPlay, and Chromecast support cover typical source needs without adapters. In practice, dropouts were rare, and switching between sources was fluid. I did notice that wired sources, optical or analog line-in, sometimes feel a touch more direct in engagement, which is common with high-quality DAC units paired that way. Thermals in operation are quiet. The unit doesn't run hot, and fanless design means there's no background noise detracting from quiet passages. This is a practical benefit in bedrooms and listening spaces where silence matters. Now for limitations. If your focus is deep bass extension without a subwoofer, the Amp Ultra alone isn't going to move as much low-end as built with a larger external amp and dedicated sub. The unit integrates bass well for small to medium rooms, but it's sensible to pair a sub if you enjoy very low-frequency music or movie soundtracks. From a comparison standpoint, traditional hi-fi integrated amps with larger transformers and discrete analog stages at higher price points will offer more headroom and a slightly richer mid-range timbre. The WiiM trades some of that classic analog warmth for versatility and modern connectivity, which is a reasonable choice depending on priorities. Who this makes sense for? Listeners who want a clean, modern streaming amp with integrated room EQ, people pairing with efficient or mid-sensitivity bookshelf speakers, rooms where Wi-Fi connectivity and app streaming matter, users who value remote and voice control in everyday listening where it might not be ideal, fans of ultra-deep, room-shaking bass without a sub, owners of very inefficient, power-hungry speakers needing big amps, purists who want the richest analog character over digital versatility in my real-world use. The WiiM Amp Ultra feels like a thoughtful piece of the audio chain. It doesn't chase unrealistic performance claims, yet it delivers a cohesive, controlled experience that fits many living spaces and listening habits. Check current pricing below and evaluate it against your needs.